Welcome, grab a popcorn, relax, you will enjoy this story, and please do not forget to subscribe to this channel.
She was the poor scholarship girl nobody wanted to sit beside. He was the rich, proud boy everyone feared. Their story started with public humiliation, but nobody knew that the same boy who rejected her in class would soon become the one person she could not forget. If you love emotional stories filled with tension, heartbreak, and deep romance, like this video right now, subscribe and comment your country or city below. We would love to hear from you. Chisholm Okafor was 19, very beautiful, and trying hard not to let her fears show. She stood beside her mother at the gate of one of the most expensive private universities in the country and felt like she had entered another world. Everything around her looked too polished, too bright, too expensive. The buildings were grand. The cars parked near the entrance looked like they belonged to politicians and billionaires. Even the students looked different. Their clothes were sharper. Their voices were more confident. Their laughter sounded like the kind that came from people who had never had to count money before spending it. Beside her, Grace adjusted the strap of her handbag and smiled at her daughter.
Mama, you really don't need to follow me inside. I can manage.
Manage what? Your first day in this kind of school?
I'm not a little girl anymore, Mama.
I know, but you're still my daughter.
I know you mean well.
Then let me mean well in peace.
Chisholm smiled a little, though her stomach was tight with nerves.
You'll be late for work. I know. I only wanted to see you enter first. A mother does not stop being a mother because the child says she is grown.
Grace looked toward the grand buildings and sighed with tired hope.
After this, I have to go and meet my employer. She said they have arranged a place for us to stay in their house, so I need to go and settle everything before evening.
A place for us?
Yes, staff quarters. It will help us save rent for now. It is a blessing.
Staff quarters?
I know it is not perfect, but it is help, and right now help is a blessing.
Chisholm wanted to feel happy immediately, but the word staff quarters sat strangely in her chest. Still, she did not complain. Her mother had worked too hard to bring her this far.
It's good, Mama. Thank you.
Grace touched her cheek softly.
I know everything is new, moving to a new town and all, but it is a fresh start. Just breathe. You will be fine.
Chisholm nodded and forced a small smile.
I know, Mama.
But inside she did not feel fine at all. She had always used words to understand life. When things hurt, she named the pain in her mind. When people confused her, she tried to describe them quietly to herself until they made sense. It was how she survived. It was how she had survived the years after her father died. Her mother was hope wrapped in tiredness. This school was beautiful without kindness. The students were money, perfume, and distance. She kept those thoughts to herself. She did not want to stress her mother. Grace had already carried too much since Chisholm lost her father years ago. She had gone without comfort, without rest, without complaint, just to make sure her daughter had food, books, and school. Grace squeezed her hand one last time.
Be yourself.
Chisholm looked toward the shining buildings again. That, she thought, might be the problem.
Call me if you need anything.
I will.
Go well, my daughter.
You too, Mama.
Grace stayed until Chisholm entered the main building, then left to make arrangements for the new accommodation her employer had offered. When Chisholm entered the classroom, conversation dropped. Not fully. Just enough for her to know people were looking at her. The lecturer, a middle-aged man with a calm face and sharp eyes, looked up from the front.
You must be the new transfer student.
Yes, sir.
Chisholm Okafor?
Yes, sir.
He nodded and looked around the room. For a second, she thought he might ask someone to shift. Instead, he pointed to the back row.
There is a free seat there, beside Chidi Eze.
What?
The class reacted immediately. What? Seriously? The scholarship girl? Beside Chidi? Whispers spread across the room like a small fire. Chisholm followed the lecturer's hand and saw him. Chidi Eze. He was handsome in a quiet, expensive way. Clean haircut, calm face, sharp jaw, crisp shirt, cool eyes. He looked like someone who had grown up being admired and obeyed. The kind of boy people watched without meaning to. Right now, he was watching her like she was a problem. Chisholm walked toward the empty seat. Before she reached it, Chidi spoke.
Sir, she can't sit here. And why not?
Chidi did not even look embarrassed.
She will be a distraction.
A few students laughed. Heat rushed into Chisholm's face, but she kept walking. She refused to stop. If she stopped now, the shame would bury her. The lecturer's voice hardened.
That is enough. Miss Okafor was top of her class in her previous school.
It's okay, sir.
No. Go on.
Chidi gave a dry smile.
With all due respect, sir, where she is coming from and where we are now are not the same.
The lecturer removed his glasses slowly.
And yet she may still do better than you. Sit properly, Mr. Eze.
A small wave of laughter passed through the class, and Chidi's face changed for the first time. Not much, but enough. He leaned back without another word. Chisholm sat down beside him, keeping her back straight and her face calm. But inside, the words she usually used to protect herself disappeared. His rejection had cut deeper than she wanted to admit. The class went on, but she heard almost nothing. After the lecture, 2 girls approached her in the corridor before she could even leave. One had bright eyes and a gossiping smile. The other seemed friendlier but just as curious.
You actually sat beside Chidieze, and you survived. Should I celebrate? Maybe. You don't understand. No girl easily gets close to him. He is like a king here. Every girl wants him.
That irritated Chisholm more than it should have.
Well, I don't.
The girls blinked. Chisholm was still hurt from what happened in class, and once she started speaking, she did not stop.
I don't find bullies attractive. He is arrogant, cold, fake, and acts like he's above everybody. If you ask me, he just looks isolated. And honestly, kind of pathetic.
Silence. The girls' faces changed at once. Chisholm knew before she turned that someone was behind her.
Go on.
A male voice said quietly.
You were saying I'm lonely and pathetic.
She turned and saw Chidi standing there. Her stomach tightened.
Let's go. Yes, please.
Next time, read the room before you open your mouth.
The 2 girls vanished, as if they had never been there.
Next time, don't behave like exactly what I described.
For a second, he looked surprised. Then one corner of his mouth lifted. Not in amusement, in warning.
You talk too much for someone who just arrived.
What? And you think too high of yourself for someone who did nothing to earn basic manners.
He stared at her for a beat, then gave a small nod like he was storing the moment away.
You'll learn.
I'm not afraid of you.
You should be.
Then he walked off. Chisholm watched him go and pressed her lips together. She had made an enemy on her first day. A rich, arrogant, dangerous one. By evening, her life became more complicated. Her mother came to meet her after classes and shared the good news with tired excitement.
The family I work for has given us accommodation. We'll stay in the staff quarters inside their compound. It will help us save money.
It is good, Mom.
God has remembered us small.
And it was good. She knew it was. But when they arrived, she almost forgot how to breathe. The house was massive. It did not look like a home. It looked like money had built itself into walls, glass, and polished floors. The compound was wide. Cars stood like decorations. Security men moved quietly at the gate. The garden looked too perfect to be real. Chisholm stared.
Mama, this is not a house, it is a museum.
Grace laughed, despite her tiredness.
Behave yourself.
A butler named James came to welcome them and led Grace away to discuss something about her duties and their room.
If you will come with me, my madam, I'll explain your duties and show you your room.
Chisholm, wait here for me.
Chisholm stood still for a moment. Then her eyes caught a doorway down the hall. She moved toward it before she could stop herself. It was a library. A beautiful one. Tall shelves climbed the walls. Rich wooden furniture filled the room. Rare books sat in perfect rows. The air itself felt expensive and quiet.
Impressed?
The voice behind her nearly made her jump out of her skin. She turned. Chidi. He stood by the door with his hands in his pockets, looking at her like the universe had just told him a bad joke.
You?
My exact thought.
She looked around the room again, then back at him.
Wait, This is your house?
My house. My library. And now apparently your new home too.
Before she could answer, James entered behind them.
Master Chidi, Miss Chisholm and her mother have arrived. Madam Grace accepted the arrangement.
There has to be some mistake.
No mistake, madam.
Chisholm looked at Chidi, then back at James.
I can't stay here.
You can.
No, I won't.
Your room has already been prepared, madam.
She glared at him. The truth was already clear. Her mother had agreed. They needed the place. And now she had to live under the same roof as the boy who had humiliated her in front of a full class.
Wonderful.
The next morning started badly. A driver was unavailable. One of the staff members said the transport arrangement had changed. Someone else was running late. The house was moving in 10 different directions, and in the middle of it, Chisholm realized she might miss her first lecture. Panic rose in her chest. She checked the time again and grabbed her bag.
I'll just go. I'll find my way. You want to trek? If I have to.
She hurried outside and nearly collided with Chidi near one of the cars. He looked at her once.
Why do you look like your life is ending?
I am going to be late.
That sounds like your problem.
She folded her arms.
Can you please give me a ride?
He looked at her for a moment, then opened the back door of the car. Not for her, but to take something out.
No.
Her face fell before she could hide it. He shut the door and added,
If we arrive together, the whole school will make noise. They already talk too much.
So that's all you care about?
I care about avoiding drama.
but something in his tone did not sound as cold as his words. Chisholm stared at him, frustrated.
You are unbelievable.
I hear that often.
I'm not surprised.
You shouldn't be.
I'm leaving.
That is obvious.
She turned and began walking away before she said something worse. Behind her, she heard him call one of the drivers sharply and mention her name under his breath, but she did not turn back. By the time she got to literature class, she was tired, annoyed, and still angry with him. The lecturer began a discussion on a famous novel and asked the class what they thought about the ending. To Chisholm's surprise, Chidi spoke, and when he did, the whole room listened. His opinion was dark, sharp, and intelligent.
The ending is not tragic because people suffered. It is tragic because the truth came too late to save anybody. By the end, everyone is stripped down to weakness. Not dramatic weakness, human weakness, disappointment, self-deception, the kind of truth people avoid until it ruins them. Very interesting.
He spoke about the ending like someone who had thought deeply about disappointment, truth, and human weakness. There was nothing lazy in the way he spoke, nothing shallow. For the first time, Chisholm saw something behind the arrogance. When the lecturer asked if anyone disagreed, her hand rose before she could stop it.
I disagree, sir.
The room turned. Even Chidi looked at her. Chisholm explained her view carefully. She challenged his opinion without insulting him.
I don't think the ending is weakness. I think it is irony. Sometimes the worst thing is not destruction. Sometimes the worst thing is surviving after becoming something ugly. That is heavier than collapse, because collapse ends something. But survival forces you to keep looking at what you became.
The room stayed quiet while she spoke. When she finished, the lecturer nodded with clear approval.
Very good. Both of you.
Both of them?
A few students exchanged looks. Nobody usually challenged Chidi openly. Nobody usually spoke back to him and kept their dignity. For a long moment, Chidi said nothing. Then he looked at her fully, not like she was a burden, not like she was a mistake forced into his space, but like he was seeing her properly for the first time. Something changed in that moment. Not peace, not friendship, but something close to interest. And for the first time since she entered that school, Chisholm felt it too. Rivalry, pride, annoyance, wounded ego. And beneath it all, the beginning of something neither of them understood yet. But this new beginning did not stay quiet for long. By the next morning, the whole school had created its own version of what happened in class.
That's her. The one who begged to sit near Chidi. I heard she nearly cried when he rejected her. I heard she already likes him.
By break time, some students were saying she had already confessed feelings to him. Chisholm stood in the corridor, holding her books too tightly, while two girls whispered near the staircase and looked at her with open interest.
This is so stupid.
She muttered. A girl stepped up beside her. She was slim, lively, and had the kind of face that always looked ready to laugh, even when she was serious.
My name is Sharon Wosu. And before you ask, yes, everybody is talking. None of it is true. I know. But this place does not run on truth. It runs on the version people enjoy most. And you enjoy this too? A little. And I also know nonsense when I see it. You're strange. That is not an insult in this school. Maybe not. Come on, if they want to gossip, at least let us give them boring material. You really are strange.
That was how Sharon became Chisholm's first real friend in that school. Still, friendship did not stop the gossip. If anything, it got worse. Some girls began looking at Chisholm with quiet dislike. Others watched her like she had stolen something valuable. Chisholm soon understood what was happening.
They don't hate me because of me. No. They hate me because Chidieze noticed I exist. Now you're learning how this place works. It's ridiculous. It is. But ridiculous things are taken seriously here.
One evening after classes, Chisholm stayed back briefly to return a book. By the time she finished and tried to leave, the hallway was almost empty. She pushed open the nearest door, stepped inside, and heard the click behind her. Her hand froze on the knob. She turned sharply and pulled at it again. Locked.
Hello? Who is there? Open the door. This is not funny. Can anybody hear me?
Only silence answered her. Her heart began to beat harder. She knocked, then banged, then called louder. Nothing. By the time the door finally opened much later, her throat was dry, and her eyes were hot with anger. 2 cleaners passing that side had heard the noise and let her out. She stepped into the corridor, shaken and embarrassed, only to hear a laugh from behind one of the pillars. Then, dirty water came crashing over her. It soaked her hair, blouse, skirt, and books in one cruel splash. The smell hit her a second later. A small group of girls burst into wicked laughter and scattered before she could catch any of them. Chisholm stood there dripping, too shocked to move. Then she heard footsteps.
Chisom?
It was Chidi. He had probably been looking for something or someone, but the moment he saw her, his face changed. The lazy pride disappeared. What remained was something harder and more human. She took one step back, dizzy with shame, and her wet shoe slipped on the floor. Before she could hit the ground, Chidi caught her. For 1 second, she was in his arms, smelling rain, cologne, and the dirty water on her own clothes. His jaw tightened.
Who did this?
Chisholm swallowed.
Does it matter?
Yes.
She pulled away from him carefully.
I'm fine.
No, you're not.
It was the first time she had heard real anger in his voice that was not aimed at her. Students had started to gather at the far end of the hall. Chidi saw them and took off his blazer without hesitation. He draped it over her shoulders. She stared at him. Then he said quietly, "I'm sorry." Chisholm blinked. "What?" "I said I'm sorry." That shocked her more than the water. She searched his face for mockery and found none. For the first time since she met him, Chidi looked disturbed. Not embarrassed for himself, disturbed for her. He guided her away before more people could crowd around. He did not say much after that, but Chisholm felt the change. Something had shifted again. After that day, the difference between her world and the world of the rich students became even clearer. Not because anyone explained it to her, because life kept showing her.
The school has approved the international academic tour for selected top students. My dad already paid. I'm definitely going. It's expensive, but it's worth it.
Chisholm knew her mother could never afford. Students around her complained about flight times, hotel choices, and whether Paris was more boring than last year. Chisholm laughed with Sharon about it on the surface.
The flight time is annoying this year. I swear, if the hotel is the same one as last time, I'm not excited. Must be hard. Imagine suffering in 5-star hotels. You're wicked.
Sharon laughed, but her eyes softened.
You wanted to go? Who wouldn't? I just don't have the kind of money that travels for fun. Don't pity me. I wasn't pitying you. I was judging the universe.
That evening, she went downstairs to the back kitchen to look for bread, and found Chidi already there in a plain t-shirt, opening the fridge like he owned the country. She stopped.
Do rich people not have people to do this for them?
Do scholarship students not know how to greet?
Good evening, Your Majesty.
Better.
She looked at the food on the counter.
You are really making food yourself.
I'm capable of survival.
That's shocking.
What do you want?
Bread.
You came all the way here for bread?
Yes. Some of us don't eat imported air and pride.
His mouth twitched. Then she noticed a brochure on the counter for the school tour.
You're not going.
I've gone too many times.
Too many times?
He leaned back.
When you've seen the same fancy buildings, eaten the same expensive food, and listened to the same fake educational speeches every year, it gets boring.
She stared at him.
That is the most spoiled thing I've ever heard.
It's also true.
She shook her head, half annoyed, half amused.
Wow.
He looked at her properly.
You wanted to go.
Maybe. But wanting and affording are different things.
For a moment he said nothing. Then he handed her the bread.
Take it and go before your speech about class struggle starts.
You are very annoying.
And yet you keep talking to me.
Good night, Chidi.
She left the kitchen smiling before she could stop herself. Heavy rain fell 2 nights later. The kind that made the whole house sound full of water and memory. Most of the staff had gone home earlier and could not make it back through the flooded roads. By evening, the house was short on hands and dinner became a small problem. Grace was helping somewhere else. James, the butler, was trying to keep things in order, and Chisholm found herself dragged into the kitchen again. James looked relieved when he saw her.
Miss Chisholm, thank God. We need something simple for dinner.
Why me?
You can cook, can't you?
A little.
Good. Then tonight, a little is enough.
Before she could protest, Chidi walked in, took one look at the confusion and said,
Forget cooking. I'll sort dinner.
Chisholm folded her arms.
Of course, rich people always solve things with money.
And poor people always complain about the solution.
An hour later, dinner arrived from one of the few places still open in the rain. They ended up eating in the kitchen because it was easier. The meal was simple, but the moment stayed with her. They argued over the food, over how he spent money too easily, over whether fries belonged beside rice, over whether he had any useful life skills apart from looking expensive.
This food is too expensive for something this ordinary.
You complain even while chewing. And you judge money too emotionally.
Fries beside rice is a crime.
Fries belong anywhere they want.
That is the most unserious thing you've said today.
And yet you're still eating.
Chisholm tried not to laugh too much. Chidi tried not to look pleased when she did. It was awkward. It was funny. It was warmer than anything between them had a right to be. Later that night, the rain became heavier. The sound of it pulled something old and painful out of Chisholm. She had gone to her room, but sleep would not come. The thunder cracked through the dark, and suddenly she was no longer in that house. She was younger again, in a smaller apartment far away, her father on the floor, her mother screaming his name, her own hands shaking as she tried to call for help. Rain outside, no light, no quick help, no miracle. Her father had suffered a stroke that night. Help came too late. By the time morning came, her life had already changed. After his death, everything slowly fell apart. The job, the home, the comfort she thought would always be there. She and her mother had returned with grief, little money, and no choice but to begin again. By the time Chidi found her, she was crying quietly in one of the downstairs sitting rooms, arms folded around herself. He stopped at the door.
Chisholm?
She quickly wiped her face.
I'm fine.
He did not insult her. He did not argue. He only said,
Come.
Too tired to fight him, she followed. He took her to the library. The room was quiet, warm, and safe in a way the rest of the house was not.
For tonight, you can think of this place as yours too.
Why are you being nice?
Don't ruin it.
Chisholm sat down slowly. He did not force questions out of her. He only stayed. After some minutes, she spoke anyway.
My father died in a storm. He had a stroke that night. I was there. My mother was screaming his name and I was trying to call for help. But help came too late. By morning, everything had changed. After that, my mother carried everything. She carried grief, money problems, survival.
Chidi listened. Truly listened. When she finished, he walked to a cabinet and brought out a chessboard. She blinked at him. Seriously? He set it down.
You need distraction.
I need sleep.
And yet here you are.
You are very annoying.
You've mentioned that.
That was how they spent the rest of the night, talking a little, falling silent a little, learning chess in between grief and thunder.
That one is the bishop,
Why does it move like that?
because life is unfair.
You say that like you enjoy it.
I enjoy winning.
I noticed.
Move your pawn,
You're bossy.
and you're still playing.
Chisholm did not know when comfort had started growing between them, but by morning, it was there. And that was when Serena Balogan arrived. Serena was beautiful in a polished, careful way. Her hair, clothes, voice, and smile all looked expensive. She carried herself like someone raised to enter powerful rooms and expect respect. Chisholm first saw her standing in the main sitting room with a small travel bag, speaking to James as if she had every right to be there. Then Chidi came downstairs, saw her, and stopped.
What are you doing here?
Serena smiled as his irritation amused her.
Nice to see you too.
Chisholm would have walked away, but the next sentence stopped her.
Our parents thought it was time we got used to each other again. Since everyone still considers me your future wife.
The room went quiet. Chidi's face hardened.
Nobody asked me.
Serena gave a soft laugh.
Since when has that mattered in families like ours?
You should have called first.
Then her eyes moved to Chisholm. She took her time looking her up and down.
And who is this?
Oh,
Before Chidi could answer, Serena's mouth curved in a cruel smile.
Let me guess. The poor girl.
Chisholm went still. Serena stepped closer, lowering her voice just enough to make the insult feel personal.
You should be careful not to confuse kindness with belonging. Houses like this are full of people who pass through. Staff. Guests. Mistakes.
that's enough, Serena.
Chisholm's face burned, but she said nothing. She did not need more than that to understand the message. In Chidi's world, there was already a plan, and she was not in it. After Serena arrived, the gossip at school turned poisonous. Now students were whispering that Chisholm was not just living in Chidi's house, she was working there. A poor maid, a desperate girl sneaking around his room, a shameless scholarship student trying to trap a rich boy. Sharon was furious on her behalf.
This is Serena. It has to be. Maybe. Maybe not. Don't do that. This matters.
Chisholm tried to act like it did not matter, but it did. Then one afternoon she received a message telling her to come to one of the unused music rooms urgently. The message looked normal, familiar even.
Come to one of the unused music rooms urgently. Who sent this? It looks familiar. Let me just check.
She went. That was her mistake. When she entered, nobody was there. Then her phone stopped working properly. Strange notifications, missing messages, and when she stepped back outside, the corridor was already empty and the rain had started heavily. She turned just in time to see Serena at the far end of the walkway, protected by an umbrella, smiling. The message had been a setup.
Serena. You set me up.
By the time Chisholm understood fully, she was stranded in the rain, soaked, humiliated, and too shaken to think clearly. Then a voice called her name. Chisholm! Chidi. He ran toward her without caring that the rain was drenching him too. When he got close enough, he looked from her face to the dead phone in her hand and then toward the direction Serena had gone. His expression changed.
Did she do this?
Chisholm tried to answer, but her throat tightened. Chidi pulled off his jacket and wrapped it around her shoulders. He touched her arm, then her face, checking quickly if she was hurt.
Talk to me.
She gave a small, shaky
You
laugh.
sound worried.
I am.
That silenced her. For a moment, the rain was the only sound between them. Then Chidi said softly,
I'm sorry.
Again?
Yes.
Why?
Because this should not have happened to you.
again that word. Again from him. The time he had broke something open. Not pain. Not anger. Something deeper. Chisholm looked up at him. At the boy who had first wounded her pride. Then slowly became the person who kept finding her at her worst moments. And before either of them could retreat into sarcasm, the distance between them disappeared. The kiss was not sudden or wild. It was quiet, trembling, real. It felt like all the unspoken things between them had finally found one simple place to go. When they pulled apart, Both of them were breathing like they had crossed a line they could never fully uncross.
We shouldn't have.
I know.
Do you?
Yes.
After that, nothing was exactly named, but everything changed. They were not openly together. They did not sit down and announce anything, but they kept finding each other. In the kitchen, in the library, in quiet corners of the house. At school, their teasing became softer around the edges.
You're impossible.
And yet you keep proving up.
That is not what's happening.
Then explain it.
At home, their silence became easier. They still argued, still irritated each other, still threw pride around as it could protect them, but now there was warmth under it.
You're not listening halfway, are you?
No.
That's new.
Maybe you're worth listening to.
That was almost nice.
Don't get used to it. Too late.
Their literature lecturer, Mr. Lawson, soon paired them together for a major essay.
For the major essay, I'm pairing the two brightest stubborn heads in the room, Miss Okafor and Mr. Eze.
Enemies to study partners? This school will not survive. Please be serious.
Very.
Working together only made things worse in the best way. Chisholm noticed that Chidi listened when she spoke, not politely, not halfway, fully. Chidi noticed that around her, he no longer felt the need to act bored or distant all the time. Their private jokes started growing. Their old lines returned in new ways.
You are annoying.
And yet you came.
People around them began whispering again. This time, Sharon only shook her head and said,
You two look like enemies who are secretly married.
Sharon,
What? I only said what everybody can see. Nobody can see anything. That's because you're blind.
Chidi said nothing. But the look he gave her after that stayed with her long after everyone else had gone.
She talks too much.
So do you.
And yet you keep listening.
That same night, they found themselves in the library again. It had become their place without either of them saying so. The room was quiet. The house had gone still. A soft lamp burned near the shelf behind them. Chisom sat on one side of the table, pretending to read. Chidi sat opposite her, pretending to do the same. Neither of them was reading. After a while, Chisom looked up and caught him already looking at her.
What?
You talk too much.
And yet you keep listening.
That's true.
That made him smile too, faintly. The silence between them changed. It grew warmer, slower, the kind that made her heart beat louder. He stood first. She stood too. They moved closer without planning to. For a moment, they only stared at each other.
Why are you looking at me like that?
I don't know.
That's not helpful.
I'm not trying to be helpful.
Chidi lifted one hand and touched a loose strand of hair near her face. Chisholm stopped breathing. He leaned in. Then a voice cut through the room like a whip. What is going on here? They turned sharply. At the door stood Chidi's parents. Chief Richard Eze was tall, severe, and dressed in expensive evening clothes. Mrs. Patricia Eze stood beside him, elegant and cold, her face full of disgust. They looked like they had walked in on something filthy, not tender.
what is going on here?
Mrs. Patricia's eyes went straight to Chisholm.
So it is true.
In my house? Enough.
Chidi stepped in front of Chisholm a little.
Enough.
Mrs. Patricia let out a short laugh.
Enough? You bring a staff child into your library at night and tell us enough?
Chisholm felt the words like slaps. Chidi's voice sharpened.
She's not what you think.
No, his father said.
She is exactly what we think. A distraction. A mistake. A girl who has forgotten where she belongs.
That was the real problem. Not the almost kiss, not the library. Chisholm's background. Chidi shocked them both by saying it plainly.
I care about her. I'm not ashamed of that.
For 1 second, everyone went quiet. Then Miss Patricia's face changed completely.
You should be.
Chief Richard stepped forward.
Do you understand what family you come from? What your name carries? The doors that open for you? The privileges tied to obedience?
Chidi did not look shaken by that. But then his father lowered his voice.
We can fix this quietly. Or we can let this girl and her mother learn what power really means.
Chidi's face changed at last. Chief Richard continued, calm and cruel.
Scholarship students are easy to remove. One bad report, one scandal, one disciplinary issue, one broken opportunity. Do you think her future is beyond reach?
Chisholm did not hear every word after that, but she heard enough. Enough to understand that she had become dangerous to the image of the family. Enough to understand that Chidi's silence beside her was no longer pride. It was fear. The next day, Chidi came to find her in the small sitting room near the back stairs. He looked tired, too calm. That frightened her more than anger would have.
What happened? What did they say?
He did not sit.
You and your mother have to leave.
The room spun for a second.
What?
My parents ended the arrangement. They fired your mother.
Because of us?
He looked away. Chisholm moved closer. Chidi, talk to me.
Chidi, talk to me.
This went too far.
What are you saying?
I'm saying I was careless.
She stared at him.
No.
No.
If I go against them, I lose everything. Money, trust, access, power.
We can survive without all that. My mother and I have survived worse. We can figure it out.
That was when he did it. That was when he chose cruelty because it was the only knife sharp enough to push her away. He gave a cold little laugh.
You really don't understand.
Chisholm went still.
This was never going to last. You were a distraction. That's all.
Her face changed, but he kept going.
You never really belonged in my world. You live in the staff quarters and think that means something changed? It didn't. It was temporary. You were temporary.
Chisholm shook her head slowly.
Stop.
But he did not stop.
I was bored. You were different. That was interesting for a while. But you cannot compare to the life I was born known to.
That one broke her. He saw it happen and still forced himself to continue.
You and I were never equal. You just forgot that.
Tears filled her eyes, but she refused to let them fall in front of him. The worst part was that she could still see the boy she loved somewhere inside the cruelty. She knew he was hiding behind it. But Pain did not care about hidden things. Pain only heard the words. She nodded once, because speaking felt impossible. Then she walked away. Not dramatic, not loud. Broken, humiliated, betrayed. After that, school became harder. Not because people stopped talking, because they did not. Serena still moved around campus like she had already won. She smiled whenever Chisholm passed, and sometimes her words were soft enough to sound kind to outsiders while still cutting deep. Other students were different. Some pitied Chisholm, some judged her. Some watched her the way people watched an accident after it was already over. Chisholm stopped trying to explain anything. Instead, she wrote. She poured everything into words because words had never failed her the way people did. Their literature lecturer, Mr. Lawson, praised the joint essay she and Chidi had written before everything collapsed. When it was time to present part of it to the class, Chisholm stood at the front and read in a steady voice.
Some stories begin with conflict, soften into curiosity, and end in pain. Some people meet as enemies and leave as wounds. Not every love story fails because love is absent. Some fail because fear is stronger.
The room was quiet when she finished. Even the students who enjoyed gossip could not laugh.
That was excellent. Wow.
Thank you.
Soon after, something unexpected happened. A respected publishing house called Whitestone Press contacted Chisholm.
Hello, is this Chisom Okafor?
Yes, speaking.
My name is Mrs. Binta Cole. I'm a senior editor at Whitestone Press. We've been reading your work. We would like to offer you a long-term contract.
Chisholm thought she had heard wrong. The financial terms were shocking, too generous, almost unbelievable. And there was more.
I'm sorry. Did you say long term?
Yes, the financial terms will be sent to you formally. There is also an anonymous sponsor. Someone has quietly supported your writing and believes deeply in your future.
Who?
I'm afraid I cannot tell you that.
Chisholm sat on her bed after that call, confused and grateful and unsettled all at once. She did not know who would do such a thing. She did not know that at that same moment, in another part of the city, Chidi was sitting in an office telling Whitestone's legal advisor one thing only.
She must never know it's me. Are you sure? Yes, just make sure she gets everything.
By then, we finally saw Chidi clearly from the other side. He had not moved on. He was not relieved. He looked like a man punishing himself every day. He funded Chisholm's literary future from a distance because it was the only way he knew how to love her without putting a target on her back again. He believed staying away was protection, even if it felt like losing air. At home, his parents pushed harder. Serena's family was brought closer. Plans for a major family gala began. It would also serve as a public engagement announcement. Serena noticed enough to grow suspicious. One evening, she found Chidi staring too long at a newspaper mention of Chisholm's rising writing career.
You still love her. You don't even know how obvious you are.
Chidi did not answer.
Fine. That's answer enough.
Serena's face hardened. She had no intention of losing the life she believed belonged to her. Not long after that, Chisholm earned an interview opportunity for a prestigious writing and academic program abroad. It was life-changing.
I heard. That is a serious opportunity.
Yes, sir.
You earned it. Don't let fear touch this one.
I won't, sir.
Good.
Grace cried when the email came. Sharon screamed and nearly fell off a chair. Even Mr. Lawson looked proud in that quiet teacher way. But the night before the interview, Chisholm disappeared. She had been on her way home when men intercepted her and forced her into a car. She was frightened, confused, and powerless. They took her far enough to delay her, rough enough to scare her, but their instruction was simple: keep her away. When Chidi heard she was missing, he knew immediately that something was wrong. He started asking questions, following calls, pulling at threads only people like him could pull. Chisholm was later found injured by the roadside and taken to a small clinic. The doctor on duty, Dr. Sei Afolabi, treated her and told her a stranger had brought her in.
A stranger brought you in, made sure you were safe, then left before you woke.
She panicked the moment she checked the time.
My interview.
Breathe first.
I missed it.
No. Someone already contacted them. Your writing samples were sent. They moved it to tomorrow.
Chisholm stared at him.
Who?
He shook his head.
I don't know.
But we knew. Again, Chidi had reached into her life without letting her see his hand. Soon after that, he vanished from her world completely. When the term ended, he was gone from school, gone from public life, gone from everything Chisholm could reach. 5 years later, Chisholm Okafor became one of the most respected young writers in the country. Her books were loved because they felt honest. Her words had pain in them, but also beauty. People said her stories understood the things most people were too proud to admit. During one television interview, the host, Maya Daniels, smiled and asked,
Why do you write love with so much pain and truth? Because once I loved someone who changed the way I understood both.
It was enough to make the audience sigh. Not enough to tell the whole truth. She had built a life, a career, a name of her own. But emotionally, one part of her had never really left that library. Eventually, success gave her something she had wanted for years, the courage to ask for one thing.
There's one thing I want. I want to meet the anonymous sponsor. You're sure? Yes. I've wanted that for years.
A private meeting was arranged. Chisholm entered the restaurant's private room expecting an elderly benefactor, a businessman, maybe even an old professor. Instead, she saw Chidi. Older now, broader, more handsome than before in a way that no longer felt youthful and careless. He looked like a man who had learned the cost of silence. The shock hit her deeply, but not completely. Some part of her had always suspected. For a few seconds, neither of them spoke. Then Chidi stood and said,
Hi.
Chisholm let out a breath that sounded almost like a laugh.
Hi.
He looked faintly embarrassed.
I had a better speech. It disappeared.
That used to happen to me around you.
The old banter came back so quickly it hurt. He congratulated her, told her everything she had become came from her own talent, not from him. She thanked him, but she did not pretend the past was dead.
One line in one of the anonymous emails sounded like you. I kept telling myself I was imagining it.
He looked down.
I should have written less like myself.
Your punctuation betrayed you.
That made him laugh once, briefly, sadly. The door between them opened. Then Chisholm forced the truth all the way out.
Why, Chidi?
He looked at her for a long moment before answering.
Because I loved you then. I still love you now. Back then, I had money around me, but not real power of my own. My family could have destroyed your education, your mother's job, your future. I thought if you hated me, you would walk away fast enough to survive it.
Chisholm's eyes filled slowly.
So you made the choice for me.
Yes.
You never let me decide if you were worth the risk.
His face tightened.
I didn't think I was.
That hurt her differently.
Being smart doesn't stop people from loving badly, does it?
Apparently not.
She was moved, angry too, wounded still, all of it at once.
Maybe I would have chosen you anyway, even if life became hard.
His voice dropped.
I know that now.
Silence settled between them, but this time it was not empty. It was full of truth, finally spoken. The love had never really died. It had only lived badly, quietly, painfully. After a long time, Chidi asked the one question he had no right to expect answered.
Can you give me another chance? Not as the boy I was, as the man I'm trying to be.
Chisholm did not forgive him cheaply. Pain that deep should never be brushed aside because someone looks handsome under soft light. But she also did not lie to herself. She still loved him.
I won't forgive you cheaply,
I know.
and I won't do secrecy. No secrecy, no games.
No games.
Then we begin slowly.
They met in daylight, talked honestly, fought fairly, laughed more than either of them expected. They relearned each other carefully.
You don't get to hide behind mystery anymore.
I'm trying not to.
Good.
You still interrogate people like a lawyer.
And you still answer like someone avoiding prison.
No pretending.
One evening, when she arrived late to meet him, he looked at her and said,
You're annoying.
And yet you came.
There you are.
Don't sound relieved.
Too late.
Just like that, the rhythm returned. This time, when his family pushed back, Chidi did not bend. He broke away fully from the engagement pressure, publicly, clearly. He stood beside Chisholm in the open, not behind money, not behind silence, not behind a sacrifice nobody asked for. Their wedding was not the biggest society event in the city. It was better. It was warm. Grace cried openly. Sharon cried louder than everyone else and denied it when teased. Mr. Lawson came too, proud in his quiet way. James smiled like he had been waiting years for peace to finally win. Even some old wounds softened in the light of that day. When it was time for vows, Chidi looked at Chisholm with the same deep stare that had once almost led to disaster in a library. Only this time, nobody interrupted.
I vow to tell you the truth, even when truth is harder than silence. I vow to choose you openly, again and again, in peace, in argument, in every season.
Chisholm laughed through tears before speaking.
I vow to love you honestly, not perfectly.
Honestly,
I vow to argue with you when you deserve it, to read what you write even when it annoys me, and to keep choosing you too.
Then she added,
And I vow never to let you pretend you are not deeply dramatic.
that made everyone laugh properly, including him. Their honeymoon was filled with the same teasing that had once lived in kitchens and over chessboards. At one point,
Go and change that outfit.
Why?
It's too distracting.
Don't tell me what to do. That's what I thought.
and that was how the story truly ended. Not with gossip, not with fear, not with rich people deciding who belonged where. It ended in peace, with truth, with a love that had survived pride, distance, class difference, and years of silence. After all the noise, Chisholm and Chidi finally found what both of them had been searching for from the beginning. Home. In each other.